to all your marks out there? This is the Mac Attack Jeff McMahon, and this is Behind the Curtain. We're going to quickly go into it. A few noteworthy news stories, as well as a few spoilers and rumors. So if you don't like the rumors and the spoilers, I'll talk to you later. Go to a different video. We're going to start off with Money in the Bank. That is the next Smackdown pay-per-view. Obviously, with Smackdown, you saw a lot of different things coming out. A couple already announced, the Jinder versus Orton match and the Money in the Bank ladder match. One thing that's been talked about that kind of got hinted at, but wasn't ever confirmed, they want to do the first ever women's Money in the Bank match. I talked about it in our SmackDown review a little bit. They have a five-way elimination match for a number one contender to face Naomi, but they are planning a second women's match. It hasn't been confirmed that's going to be the ladder match. I think that's kind of the direction they'll lean, just to be noteworthy of a pay-per-view. And Money in the Bank, they've never done it. I think it's something they definitely should do. I'm guessing someone like Carmella will win the elimination match. It's really telling to see who wins that, because if they have, say, Charlotte win and get a shot against Naomi, then it's less likely that the ladder match happens, because that's taking away star power from that match. If someone like Carmella wins, then it might be a little more likely, because then they have Charlotte, Becky Lynch, Natalya, all in this match and kind of creating a little bit of buzz and having those women make history, basically. So this upcoming Tuesday is really telling as far as the direction that they're going to go with that women's match, that second one. I think, like I said just a bit ago, I think it's a great idea. I always like to see them do more things with the women. I like the Hell in a Cell. The match wasn't great at Hell in a Cell, but I liked that they did it. They're just continually doing cage matches with Alexa Bliss and Becky Lynch. I like that they're doing more things with the women, so I really want them to break that milestone as well with Money in the Bank. Next thing I want to talk about, the women's tournament. Little transition, nice little segue there. The women's tournament is happening, as I've talked about in previous videos, and it finally has a name. It's the Mae Young Classic. Not surprised WWE went this way. First off, they always call these tournaments classics. With the tag team tournament, they honor Dusty Rhodes. Not really a cruiserweight to do it, so they just went with the Cruiserweight Classic. They're back to honoring one of the greats, Mae Young. It's a good move. I like it. I can't wait for it. I think it's coming in the summer. I could be wrong there. I can't wait for it. They have the best women in the world going, and we'll see what happens. It's nice to get exposure to people outside of WWE. I don't always get the exposure to the PWGs, Ring of Honors, and it'll be nice to see a lot of the best in the world go, and that's why I like the Cruiserweight Classic when it came out. A lot of guys I didn't really have a whole lot of exposure to, and now I do, and I like a few of them. I wish they would do a little more on Raw with Cruiserweights, but it's good to see that exposure, so I'm really looking forward to the Mae Young Classic there. One thing that happened this week is Asuka is now your new record holder, passing Goldberg for the undefeated streak. She now is at 174-0. This is expected. I think Goldberg's streak is kind of like iffy. It wasn't like definite, like a 173, no question. There was a little bit of a question mark behind it. A little bit of, and I think WWE just wanted to make Asuka into just this powerhouse, and they've done it. I think they should keep going. I'd almost want to see Asuka win at NXT Brooklyn against whoever she faces, because Ember Moon doesn't look like she's ready to go. So I would have Asuka win at that pay-per-view and then go up. Somehow. I don't know how you're going to do it because you still need strong women in NXT, and your typical booking is champion loses, gives it away, and then goes up. But this is a different circumstance. Asuka's dominant, and I want to keep her dominant, so when she goes up to the main roster, it's this undefeated beast of a woman that can't be stopped, basically. And I think that's how they should book her, so she's just hitting the ground running. That way, obviously there are casual fans in WWE don't watch NXT, but if you go up and the announcers are booking you like this, this is Asuka from NXT, she is not lost ever. It kind of builds her up immediately before there's even a feud. So I would go that direction, but congrats to Asuka. I saw Goldberg replied and gave her the same congrats for it. That's definitely saying something. The WWE, it shows how much the WWE thinks of her to even give her that kind of run. So congrats to her. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with it and what they're going to do in the future with her. We talked about this on SmackDown, the picture-in-picture with commercials. I loved it so much because we talked about it before they decided to do it. For instance, my stepdad watches NASCAR, and sometimes I've been over there and been watching, and when they go to commercial, they have the commercial over here, and then the race going on the other screen. And with NASCAR, it's a little easy. It's the same thing basically, but they let the fans see it during commercials, so that's keeping people on the TV or on that channel. And I always thought, especially, and you know how much, if you've watched my reviews, you know how much I don't like them cutting in in match for a commercial. It bugs me. I liked it. I told Pat a few weeks ago, before this was even announced, I'm like, they should just do picture-in-picture like they do with NASCAR. Have the match going on one screen, have the commercial. And then he told me like a week after, and he's like, they're actually going to do that on SmackDown. I'm like, sweet. They finally debuted it. It worked perfectly, I thought. The matches that were going weren't anything special, but it was nice to be able to just watch it and not be interrupted with the match. And I know a lot of people felt that way. So kudos to WWE for that. I just want to mention that again because that is a big noteworthy thing because they might do that for Raw as well, which they should. Hopefully they implement that soon. I think this was more beta testing, and as far as I'm aware, as looking on Twitter, it definitely passed with flying colors there. This is where we hit these spoilers. Before I get into the spoilers, actually, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about with SmackDown. SmackDown on June 13th, which is in, I want to say, 2 or 3 weeks. I think 3 weeks. Is in New Orleans, the home of WrestleMania 34. So there are news stories and rumors that this is going to be a big one. They want to absolutely load this card up because it's the home of WrestleMania. I saw a couple matches rumored. Owen Styles again, Shinsuke Ziggler again. They're gonna give their best effort on this one. So in 3 weeks' time, I think that might be the go-home show to Money in the Bank as well. So stay tuned. That should be a hell of a show. Now, quickly before I get into the NXT spoilers, there's a quick injury update on Emma. I didn't mention it in the news stories before of her injury, but she did have a shoulder injury, and I'm sorry for the phone going off. It's actually my birthday today, and a lot of people are sending me messages. But But going back to Emma, she had a shoulder injury. It was feared that it would be very serious. Story came out today that it is not as serious as they thought. The shoulder injury looks to be recovering, and they expect her to actually be recovered fully by mid-June. So she should be making her return very shortly to WWE television. Now, I've been teasing it, basically. The NXT spoilers. A couple major things happened at NXT tapings. First off, Tommaso Ciampa explained his attack on Johnny Gargano, and his reasoning was basically, I got injured, an ankle injury on Thursday before NXT Takeover, and within 24 hours, I was an afterthought. Everyone was thinking of partners for Johnny Gargano, and it basically saying that it hurt. And once they lost, and he knew he was injured, he looked at Johnny Gargano and knew that he had to do something because he didn't want to be an afterthought during his injury. So that's where the attack came, and he said when he comes back, he's going to be the most dominant guy, blah, blah. I like the reasoning, actually, a lot. They're playing with the injury that everyone knows about, and they made it still personal. I'm looking forward to that feud, honestly, especially with Candice LeRae coming back, or being signed with WWE, which is Johnny Gargano's wife. So maybe she gets inserted into that storyline. Maybe kind of a mixed tag deal with Johnny Gargano. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it for sure. And the other thing was a major heel turn occurred, and that was Hideo Itami. Hideo Itami did turn heel. He hit 3 go-to-sleeps on Oni Lorcan before Cassius Ohno came out. This was teased at NXT TakeOver, this feud, and then finally it happened here at NXT. Cassius Ohno came out. Itami slapped Ohno. Ohno pushed Itami, and Itami left. That's going to be your next big feud. Which is good. They need to do something with Itami. Just give him more fuel, I guess, more to his character, and a heel turn could be good for him. So looking forward to that. But that was Behind the Curtain. A few good news stories this week. If you know of any others, comment in the boxes below. Like, subscribe, check out our other videos this week. And until next time, see ya.